Yeah, I don't know about the DJI ones, but I heard there are nothing but great things about
Oh my
them.
God, I used them at a wedding. My buddy had them, and it's all downhill from there.
All right, so we are live actually, man. Cory, man, dude, what's going on with you? How's your trip, by the way?
El Salvador?
Yeah.
Oh, where do I even begin, man? I mean, there's so much to talk about. I mean, action-packed 5 days. Stayed in like 4 different resorts.
4 different resorts in 5 days?
4 different resorts in 5 days, yeah.
Jeez, was this a work trip or leisure trip?
So I would describe it as kind of a work-play trip. We did some trade, if you will. Got to stay in these resorts for free. They comped our food, our stay, all that stuff in exchange for, of course, some drone shots, traditional
They
stuff for social
love
media.
drone stuff over there, man. Like, I remember
They really
when I
do.
did my South America trip, I did something similar to what you did. Just offered them some micro content. And this is before Reels happened. But, like, I had drone. And, like, oh, you have a drone? I'm like, yeah, I have a drone. This is the DJI Mavic 1 drone. It's like, dude, yeah, you can stay with us. We're going to comp your food, a couple of liquor shots or whatever, and then you're good. And it still works, though, because I've tried some in the past, like recently. Maybe I'm hitting the wrong spots. But it's like, I feel like gear is so cheap now that, like, anyone could get a drone. And, again, it's all about the editing, in my opinion. And your style of editing is completely unique compared to, like, the masses, I think. And so, but yeah, man.
Just like you said, the way you manipulate the footage, the way you edit it. It's see, anybody could fly a drone. It's how you put it together.
That's all, I always say that. Anyone could shoot 4K. I mean, you can shoot 4K on your phone now. Get a little cheap GoPro, whatever. But the editing is the real work. It's what's going to make you stick out from the masses, in my opinion. And but not everyone has the patience for editing, which is like a good and bad thing. Good thing for us because I love editing for myself, personal content, and you are pumping like every single day, man. How do you do it?
Oh man, so many people ask me that. It's what I get asked like every day. How do you find time to do content? How do you do this with all the other work you have going on? The answer is simple. Wake up early. You know, the most richest people in the world, they say they wake up at 4 a.m. I don't wake up that early, but I am up at the butt crack of dawn every day, and that's my prime time to really get going with editing. That's where I'm like really focused. Nobody's bothering me. Nobody's calling me. Emails aren't coming through. It's just a really good time to really hone in and be creative.
And you're eliminating all distractions too. No one's gonna notifications on your phone. No one's gonna, hey, can you do such and such for me? You're just focused on your work, and I love it. Cory, tell us a little bit more about you, man. Who are you? What is it that you do? What's your profession? And how'd you get into creative space, man?
Perfect. Well, yeah, I started. So I'm a filmmaker. Video production and photography is my main source. I've been running Sparkle Films. That's the name of my business now for 12 years. It's been a whirlwind of time. But I started in 2011. You know, it kind of started like any other business where I just had a few connections. I had very minimal gear. But through my connections and network, I was able to get a few gigs, weddings, events, Fisher Price stuff, you name it. I mean, literally, I didn't even want to charge people because I enjoyed doing it so much.
I think we've all been there before.
Yeah, we have all been there. I mean, it starts off as a passion just like anything. But I actually started as a skateboarder. I grew up and I made skate videos with my friends when we were really young. And I always had a camera in my hand, would always like film them. We'd always cruise around Laguna Beach making videos. Eventually, we had a couple of premieres at the movie theater in downtown Laguna Beach.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when things really started changing and I kind of got more exposure. I was going to film school during that time and I was like deciding, what do I want to do? Do I want to start my own business or do I want to get a job up in the industry? So I ended up starting my own business and man, I'm so blessed to be doing what I love to do and be successful doing it.
Right. Okay, so here's a first curveball question. Is film school worth it?
You know, it may have been worth it during the time I went. See, I was going to school in 2007. That was a long time ago. The industry has changed so much since then. I mean, technology, equipment, accessibility, everything. It's so different now. So when I was going to school, it was definitely a requirement. Nowadays, heck, if you got the drive, the skill, the talent, what do you need to go to film school for? Just throw some videos up on social media and you're probably going to get noticed that way and not have to even go to film school.
The one thing I've always heard from people that back up schools, and I'm all for like going to school and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dog that. But one of the main reasons people go to school is for those connections and those the networking. You're paying for the networking essentially. Mm-hmm. Is there any truth to that?
You know, it's so funny you say that because when I went to film school, they made me a lot of promises. They said, oh, we're going to get you a job in the industry. No doubt. You're going to be getting a job in the industry right when you get out of school. And I did get an internship, a non-paid internship, if you will.
Yeah, because internships are now paid for, right?
And that was, hey, that was fun. And that was actually working on the movie Catch Me If You Can. Do you remember that one that came out years ago?
Catch Me If You Can.
Steven Spielberg directed it with Tom Hanks and
Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, you were there?
I was there for about a week while they were shooting at Union Station up in LA.
Were you a PA or?
So, yeah, personal assistant. I was kind of like the guy running around. Hey, grab us coffee, grab us some wires,
The
cables.
runner.
I was doing the grunt work, so to speak. But, you know, it was a great experience, but it also showed me that that's not what I want to do. My brain is so wired with creativity. I'm like, you know what? I can't sit on set for a couple years and wait to make it in the industry, so to speak.
And your work, and it shows like your creativity, like always changing and going fast paced and whatnot. So yeah, I've seen it in your work, so it makes sense what you're saying right now.
Totally.
And go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say, yeah. So we, finished up that shoot in LA, and that was a great experience. But going back to film school, well, like you said about getting connections, it's funny you say that because after I got out of film school, I was the one getting people jobs. Because I got a job at a production company here in Orange County. It was a Fuel TV. You remember Fuel TV, don't you?
Sounds familiar.
Action sports-oriented TV station that was around. They were really popular in the early 2000s. So I was working with them, and I became like their lead editor, producer. And I was even spilling out my own content on Fuel TV of skateboarding and stuff I had filmed over the years with my friends. So long story short, I ended up getting two of my buddies out of film school jobs working as editors at our company we were working at. And my film school was so thankful for it. They're like, wow, we're so blessed that you're giving these kids some opportunities. So,
jeez, that's awesome, man. Yeah. So you start doing your own business and you're seeing a little bit of success. You're seeing the connections that you're making. You're working on different kind of avenues. When did you hone into like your main like niche of production work?
As far as like when I started my business?
Right.
I think everything started to really come into play 2015, 2016. That's when I got an office in Laguna Beach, a commercial office space. Downtown Laguna, it was a big gamble for me because I'm not a wealthy guy in any way. You know, I grew up in Laguna, which is a very wealthy area, but I came from a very traditional family. Mom and dad never had too much money. So when I made that big leap, I was nervous about it. I'm like, is this going to work or is it not? But after I got that commercial office space, I noticed things really started changing. The kind of clients I was working with, the kind of jobs we were doing. I hired an assistant to work with me at the office, which really helped pick up the slack. Eventually, we lost that office because COVID occurred and people started working remotely. So I had a great run with the office while it was around.
Do you think having the office, like you said, like things kind of like elevated, like the kind of clientele you said? Yeah. Is it because like, okay, you're not just a kid that owns a camera, works from mom's basement or whatever. You actually take this very seriously, so we want to work with you. Is that what you think that the mindset was on that?
I think it attracts a certain breed of client. You know, not just the mom and pop clients. You're going to get corporate clients. You're going to get clients that just take you more seriously, looking you up, seeing that you have a map commercial space in Laguna Beach. Obviously, you're taking yourself pretty damn seriously if you have an office.
Yeah, plus you're dropping $3,000 to $5,000 on rent for that space anyway. So yeah, it just shows like another level of commitment. So tell me a little bit more about your personal content, man. Like, how's it that you got that style, that fast-paced editing style? It's kind of nuts, man, in a good way though.
No, I know. Sometimes it's a little wacky and a little too much for people. My style has slowed down a little bit because I'm trying to have that fine line between fast-paced but elegant. Something where people can keep up with what's going on without having to be rushed. You know, that style has always been on my blood. Since I was a skateboarder, since I made these action sports videos growing up, that's just the kind of edgy style that I've always presented. So since I was a kid, day one, I've always loved to edit like a music video.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The music, because it does have like a music video feel.
Absolutely.
To your work with the music in the background as well. What is it that you're, I mean, you have so much like, I like that you incorporate cell phone footage, GoPro footage, DSLR cameras, mirrorless cameras, drone, all into like that one specific video. Like you don't let gear stop you from creating.
No, and now that the gear is so accessible, like we talked about already, iPhone footage can be manipulated to look like a DSLR clip. You know?
Yeah, if you put it on Apple ProRes, you could really grade it to like something pretty decent.
There's some settings in the phone now to where you can get your high efficiency, high compatibility, and it really just kicks your video up to the next notch. Like, it makes it look so professional and clean. Of course, I don't prefer to shoot on an iPhone, but it is very fun incorporating different styles of footage.
Have you ever used a cell phone, like specific shoots for like client work?
You know, I've done some I did a promo for DJI 2 years ago for their Osmo. It's like their handheld gimbal.
So you need to use the phone for that.
So that was all shot on the phone.
Right.
And it looked great. You know, it's all how you color grade, how you manipulate the footage. I don't, like I said, it's not my preference, but if a client wants to do that, I'm all about it.
Sure. Speaking of brand deals and whatnot, like a kid that's listening to this podcast right now, it's like, man, I want to do some brand work for DJI or GoPro or Sony or something like that. Like, how do you go about that?
Getting the connection. I mean, you got to put yourself out there. You got to hope that somebody will see your work from there. I mean, just tagging them in your videos is not going to do any good. They get billions of tags every day worldwide from people. I mean, do you think they're going to have time to look through all that content? They're going to want to see you, whoever has the most unique content.
Is that always about the numbers?
I don't know if it's necessarily about the numbers, because I had a friend, he has less than 1,000 followers, but his work is amazing, and DJI picked him up, and they sponsored him. They gave him a free drone. He did a drone promo for them. So I think at the end of the day, network, and it's about your portfolio and what you're putting out there, you know?
Right. And I mean, you're clearly posting like every single day. Again, like, how do you find the time is pretty insane, because you also have, till today, you still have your own full production team. Tell me a little bit more about that.
A production team?
Yeah.
Like the guys I work with?
Or, I mean, just in general, like just a production company. Like,
yeah, I mean, when I started, it was a lot different, because I kind of started with my best friend, so to speak. I started the business with. We grew up together. We made skateboarding videos, and he still works with me. However, you know, over the years, I've just wanted to branch out a little bit and find different people that I don't know who can offer something different. So whether it's like having an assistant, a marketing person, a bookkeeper, an assistant cinematographer, editor, these things go hand in hand to keep what I call the conveyor belt moving forward. That's what I picture my production company as. It's like a conveyor belt, and the second that conveyor belt stops, business slows down. But if it just keeps moving, business is going to go steady.
Right.
So that's what my priority is always keeping things moving forward at a rapid pace.
yeah. And what kind of work are you guys specializing in right now?
So mostly right now we do a lot of real estate, commercial video production, events. I've done a lot of weddings over the year, but to be honest, I'm kind of trying to steer away from them. They're great pay, but I'm trying to reach that next level in my production where I'm focusing more on like filmmaking.
Right.
I currently have a movie that's in the works, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020 we started shooting it. It's called The Canyon. You guys are gonna love it when it comes out this summer. But yeah,
Like, it's officially coming out this summer.
Officially
which is
coming
like
out this
within
summer.
the next month or two then.
yeah, it should be released. I'm not gonna give a date because I
Sure.
don't have the date yet. But let's just put it this way: it's in final post production right now, and we have poured our heart and soul into it. So I cannot wait to share more details.
Oh man, I would love
as
to
it
know
comes
like
up.
a screening whenever, and then come check it out.
That's the whole idea. It'll be at film festivals. It's not like it's just gonna get posted online.
Right.
The way you'll see it will be attending a film festival.
Okay, and tell me about how that experience was of filming that, like from the pre-production, from the idea to writing it to.
Oh my God. It's a crazy story because we started shooting during COVID. I mean, you know what the protocols were going on during that time. I mean, everybody had to wear masks.
I've been on set before with like masks. It's like it was kind of annoying. You have to take a test every like so often too. So
Oh, it was insane. And do you want to know when we started? So we didn't even have a budget for our movie. We actually raised the funds on Seed and Spark. Have you ever heard of Seed and Spark?
No.
It's like Kickstarter, but
Okay.
if you have a movie idea. So if you have your concept, your pitch deck, if you will, you put it on Seed and Spark, and that's how people ultimately will see your movie idea and want to donate to your budget. So we started our campaign in March of 2020. And what happened about a week later?
because my birthday's in March
Yeah.
20th, so we're supposed to go on a trip, and on the 15th or the 16th, lockdown.
Lockdown, exactly. So yeah, we get everything all together. We get our teaser trailer, we get our storyboard concepts, if you will, poster. I mean, we literally had to put everything out there. And then COVID happens, and we're like, what the heck? Are people gonna donate? Is this even gonna work?
Right.
we actually ended up getting more money than we were even anticipating. We had requested about $40,000. We got 50.
Wow.
So it was amazing. We actually got more money from people than we were expecting. People were so impressed with the concept and idea that they were like, you know what? I want to donate to your campaign.
And was this, tell me about like the actual production. Was this, I mean, I'm assuming it wasn't shot like on a mirrorless or a DSLR with that kind of budget, or
It was shot with a red camera. So we
Okay.
rented a red camera for the shoot specifically. Big steady cam, body mount kind of thing, full cast and crew. We had 4 actors primarily, so it wasn't too big of a cast.
Sure.
But we had a magnificent crew. I had 2 assistant cinematographers, a gaffer, sound guy. And we
I'm assuming you directed it.
I was no. So I actually am not the director. My friend Alex Sosin, he is the writer and director, but I am the director of photography, producer, and editor.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a big job. I mean, pretty
Yeah.
much I was responsible for a lot of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I did all the cinematography. I worked right with my director side by side. It was a task, man, and especially getting everybody together and like making everybody, keeping us separated, if you will. We wanted to abide by those rules, keeping everybody 6 feet apart,
Sure.
wearing masks. We shot it on location here on Laguna Beach, actually, in Laguna Canyon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie.
Laguna Canyon.
No, the Canyon.
The Canyon.
The
Gotcha.
Canyon.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Takes place in 1976. I don't want to tell too much about the story,
Right.
but let me just say it's a scary movie and you guys are going to love it.
What's the length looking like?
So it's not a short film, but it's not a
But it's
full
not a
length.
full feature film.
It's about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So a short film is considered 10 minutes. So it's like, I don't know what you call it. It's almost like a docu short or something like
Okay.
that. Anyway.
But it's
yeah.
not a doc.
Not a documentary.
Okay.
It's an actual movie.
And how was the editing process? Was it hell or?
So we got wrap production late in 2021. We had to take a break for a little bit, regroup, figure out another location. So 2023, we've been editing for the last 2 years. I mean, it's been so much work. Like, I can't even tell you how many sessions my director and I have had together, because it's not like I'm just going to edit and send him a cut to review. He wants to be with me in person.
Over the shoulder.
Over the shoulder, not that he's nitpicky.
Right,
We're both
but-
on the same page. We just want to, have our synergy together and kind of figure out how we're going to put it together. So, yeah, very interesting process putting the movie together. I mean, we would literally have this whole cut and then we'd scratch it, start over, find
And
shots.
that could be a day's work or two right there that's lost when you scrap an idea or something
And
like
this
that.
is all in, keep in mind, this is all in the midst of while I'm doing other projects. And he's a full-time, filmmaker, director too. So he's working on other stuff. This is literally like a passion project for us. And we're trying to find time to work together and get it done. It was difficult, but I am so excited it's finally done. I cannot wait to share it with the world.
How important is making sure you still continue working on passion projects over like business work?
It gets more important as time goes on, honestly. And now that I have a solid crew of people I'm working with, budgets have definitely increased. We've kind of reached that next stage in our company where I'm able to invest in more projects, passion projects, if you will. I really want to start doing that more. I think it's ultimately down the line, I really want to start doing more passion projects for my company. The goal is for my company to work on less quantity of projects and just quality projects. So whether it's, 5 to 10 projects a year that are all, pretty decent budget and keep us busy, rather than working on like 50 projects a year.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. As far as the equipment, man, let's get a little nerdy right now. What is it that you're using in 2023?
So I just invested in a really nice camera. It took me a while to invest in it, actually, because so many new cameras circulating over the years. So I landed with this Canon C70, and it
Saw
is
that bad boy there.
oh, it is
It's like a tank.
It is seriously such an amazing camera. It's everything I could have possibly hoped it would be, plus more. Oh my god! So yeah, it's like red. It's like a red cinema camera.
Yeah,
Super
I've-
35 quality.
I've done my research on it, and it's a pretty damn good camera for the price.
It was either going to be that or the red camera. And I wanted the red camera so bad, but I'm like, you know what? Get the C70 because it has so many better features. I'm a run and gun cinematographer. I'm not the kind of guy who could spend 2 or 3 hours setting up a camera.
And Reds, it's like you gotta mount it like to every single I've rigged up some Reds in the past before, and it's like, bro, this is like 45 minutes just to like rig it up. Like, this is annoying.
And you have to have a crew with you to like help you set it up
Right,
sometimes too.
right.
I mean, today I'm doing a graduation paddle out here in Laguna Beach. You know, I'm obviously I want to get some shots of the kids on the beach. Do you know how long it's going to take me to set up a Red camera? Heck no, man. I'm going to have my C70 ready to go. It's going to be on the gimbal, and I'll literally get there and start shooting. No time. And you're going to get that same quality with the C70 that you would get on a Red anyway.
And one thing I love to say is like, clients will never realize. They'll never know.
It's all how you manipulate the footage, like I said.
Right. Okay, so you got the C70. I saw a couple other bodies out there.
Panasonic, a GH5. Yeah, I love that camera still. It's honestly, I've had it for, 5 years.
I was
at
gonna say
least.
it's an older camera too, but it's
had
still
its days.
holding.
Yeah, it's still holding up. And honestly, I've shot so much real estate with that camera. It's got a nice wide angle on it, and that camera has paid itself off beyond. I've used it for so much stuff. And then for photography, I actually have another Canon camera, Canon 5D Mark IV.
Okay.
And I use that all for all my photography.
And what lenses are we using?
24 to 105.
Okay.
70 to 200 as well. So I have two lenses for that. Long lens, short lens. So depending on what I want to use.
Right. And
Yeah.
do we have any drones, any gimbals?
Oh man, yeah, I have lots of drones. So I've had what do I have now? I have the Mavic Air 2S, and I actually just recently got the Mavic 3 Pro.
Nice.
It's the newest drone that just came out on the market.
With the 3 cameras, right?
The three, the little Hasselblad
So
camera. It's got
I'm
the-
trying to sell my Mavic 3 just so I can get the Mavic 3 Pro.
I waited a while. I was gonna get the Mavic 3 Classic and then the Mavic 3
Cine.
Cine. Yeah, I was gonna get both those versions, but I'm like, I don't know. Something's telling me to wait. And then this Pro version came out, and I'm like, you know what? That is the one.
Yeah, it's freaking DJI, man. It's so annoying. They like upgrade like every like 3 to 4 months. It feels like, and it's like right when you pull a trigger on something better comes out. It's like, bro, like
DJI might as well just take all of our money.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're just gonna keep investing
Yeah.
in all the drones coming.
Exactly.
In. Yeah.
Okay, so we got the 3. Could have swore I saw some FPV footage on your content.
You did. Yeah, I just got the Avata. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Yes. So I've been doing some FPV over the years. I did fly a couple, and then I did I actually had the original FPV DJI one that came out 2 years ago. Just got the Avata this last month, actually. And oh my God, it is amazing. I mean, honestly, it's so much better than the last version. DJI totally outdid themselves with this one because it's 10 times better than the original version.
Really? So this is an embarrassing story on my end. I bought the original one, the FPV, the first gen, and like you said, it's been 2 years. Still haven't even flown it yet.
Really?
Dude, I've been trying to do the simulator, and I just feel nauseous and just don't feel great. And I kind of like gave me a sour taste, but I was like, my wife keeps telling me, just sell it, just go sell it. I'm like, no, I still want to try it and actually fly it once and see if I like it or not. Like, I didn't spend this money just for nothing. So I know I need to get on that. But like, how's the experience been to like learn FPV?
It's difficult.
So it's not an easy thing.
No,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? FPV is like, you have to be so patient. You can't just expect instant gratification and results. You have to practice your maneuvers. The simulator, like you said, it's a great way to practice. I gave up on that simulator.
Okay,
honestly.
so maybe I should try something, your method.
I honestly would just get out there and fly. And the more you fly, the closer you fly to objects, the more comfortable you get. The simulator is great for like a little update.
Sure.
But I think just getting out there and flying and practicing is the best way to get better at it.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna take it out in the park and just rip it
Exactly.
because the simulator's like destroying me, and I'm trying to do like this. I'm trying to do like professional, so like going down on a waterfall. I'm like, dude, I'm not ready for that. Like, I should just take it easy and just get a feel for it first, and then
Absolutely.
then get better and better. So the Avata's been great for you.
Oh my God, the Avata is seriously, it's such a beautiful drone because unlike the one you have, this one has prop guards.
Yeah.
I've already crashed it 3 times. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but you have to crash a little bit to kind of get the feel of what you're doing. But I've crashed it and it's fine. Like it dropped like 10 feet the other day from a palm tree. I picked it up and took it right off again.
And that's something I've always learned from like YouTubers. Like, if you're gonna fly FPV, expect to crash. Something you don't really hear with like just normal drone flying.
Yeah.
Expect to crash, and like you said, mine doesn't have any props or anything like that, and it's like a bigger, chunkier FPV drone. So like, dude, if one crash and one bad fall, it's not gonna look great.
It's so true. Yeah, if that thing goes down, it's gonna break and you're gonna have to send it in for repairs for sure.
And it's gonna cost you hundreds of dollars for
You
sure.
got the DJI Fresh?
I do not, and at this point, it's probably expired.
It's expired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get it within 48 hours after purchasing the product. So
done.
lame. I know.
Do you have any tips for any creators out there that are want to get into the creative space, in the freelance space? Anything in general? Top 3, top 5?
Well, the whole industry is so much more competitive than it used to be.
Everyone and their moms could afford a camera now.
Everybody can afford a camera, and kids are starting young now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know kids are starting at 10 years old and flying drones and stuff now. In another 10 years, the industry is going to be so different. What I recommend to these kids, if they're just getting started and if they want to make a name for themselves, just be persistent, you know? Keep trying. Don't give up. Don't count on social media to make you that icon figure. Social media is going to maybe give you some free exposure, and yet it's free advertising. But at the same time, I think the whole idea is try something different. Try different outsources. Try YouTube, try Instagram, try different things to put yourself out there. And I mean, honestly, I'm just going to say at the end of the day, there's so many people who are good at production. It's all about who you know and what they know that you know? It's all about a network. And so getting connections in the industry, I think, is more important than anything.
And how do you go about that? Are you going to networking events? I mean, obviously your story, you went to school, so you're pretty connected from there, but like, what would you tell that kid right now?
Oh my God, yeah. Go to networking events, put yourself out there, find out if there's stuff going on in your area. I mean, depending on where you live, of course, depending on how popular video production is. But hey, we're in a day and age where everybody needs videos.
Right.
There is plenty of work to go around right now.
Yeah. I'm in like this like wedding group that's like nationwide, and they're $5,000 to $6,000 video packages for wedding packages in Indiana, Wyoming, like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like there's money out there. You just gotta just do the work, make sure you pump out some good quality stuff, and then the work will find you, I'd say.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better. It's plenty of stuff out there for people, and you just have to Google it, research it. I mean, it's one thing to be good at your craft, but it's another thing to be business savvy. And you've got to be business savvy. You got to know how to sell yourself, how to talk with people, how to book a job. It goes a long way. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it. Ultimately, the more jobs you'll get out of it.
Definitely. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I know you keep saying like the technology and the industry has changed so much. Like you've been in the game for, you said, over a decade at this point, correct? Like, how do you keep up with the times? Like, how do you like make sure like you're on top of trends and whatnot to make sure you're not falling behind?
Well, Instagram keeps me on my toes with that one. I mean, I see all the trends every day, and now with having, almost I have 90,000 followers now. Oh my God, my following just went up a little bit. So now I'm into the point where I'm forced to keep up with the trends. I have no choice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much like wired in now, and I have to just keep going with it. So I see the trends every day on social media. I'm not on TikTok. I just don't think that's going to benefit me. My Instagram is a fine line between getting good views and good exposure, but also getting good business out of it. People are actually contacting me on Instagram, asking me to do jobs.
The crazy part is like your work is, at least what I've seen from Instagram, I'm not sure if you have other accounts out there, like it's very personal to you. And the fact that people want like, hey, I want that style for my business or whatever, speaks volumes.
It's so true, man. I mean, I didn't even used to put myself on my videos. I used to just do videos of people, and then thanks to my buddy Michael, he's the guy who got me to finally step on camera, and he's like, I want to do a video of you. And that's when everything changed. Once I put out that video and people actually could see who I am, what kind of person I am, what I'm doing, it was all downhill from there, so to speak.
Yeah, because it's like showing personality. I mean, just like even like with your content, like I just started following you like a few months ago. So like I never saw the part where like you weren't posting yourself, you were posting other people.
Yeah.
So like I just getting to know you was pretty seamless just through your Instagram account. Granted, you're not speaking to the camera, but just showing like the visuals, like, all right, this guy is clearly outgoing, loves to travel, loves to create cool content and just have a good time.
Yep, exactly. I think, as I always say to people, you kind of get to know my personality through my social media. It shines through my profile, kind of. I mean, yeah, there's a few videos where I'll speak on camera, but primarily, you can just see who I am based upon what you're looking at visually. I'm all about that visual storytelling.
Right, and it definitely shows. Do you got any, besides this big film that you guys are going to drop pretty soon, do you have anything else in the future that you're going to work on that's personal to you?
A personal project?
Sure.
I've been getting so many requests for people to tell me to do a documentary about my life. And I mean, that's kind of egotistical to me. My life is nothing that special. I mean, yeah, it's a fairy tale story. I've had a camera in my hand since day one. I skateboarded. I grew up in Laguna Beach, and now I'm working in my hometown, giving back to the community and have a business. Maybe I'll do a documentary someday, but I don't know. I think right now the main priority is just keeping the business moving forward, seen where this movie will go, and then maybe one day I'll come up with something like that.
Right. I know we talked about, we're kind of going a little everywhere, but it's all good. Off mic, we were talking about like the value of having an editor, and how's that been for your business?
Game changer. I mean, it was hard to let go. Hard to like let go and just trust somebody else to get the work done. My editor now, I'll tell you the story of him. He came to my office in downtown Laguna Beach. He stopped by 3 times. He dropped off his resume. I didn't even take a look at it. I was just whatever, busy, consumed with projects. Finally, after 3 times of stopping by, I'm like, okay. I gave him a chance. I'm like, just gave him some footage that I shot of this car wrap place, and I said, put together something. Yeah. Once I got that video back, I showed it to my other guy. I'm like, yep, I think we have a new editor in the house right now, because it was literally just my style of editing, if not better.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I was like, wow, he's doing stuff in this video that I wouldn't even be doing.
And they always say you always want to hire someone that's better than you.
So, yeah, I mean, once I got him on board, and he's still working with me. 5 years now he's been working with me.
Nice.
And he's just so amazingly talented. And Michael, I'm blessed to have you as my lead editor, buddy.
And this goes back to what you said. It goes first full circle when you said, like, you got to stay persistent. He could have easily just got into your shop, and that one time you just blew him off like, all right, I quit. I'm done. Maybe you're done with like filmmaking or whatever. But he came back 2 other times to like show you like, hey, dude, I'm really about this. Like, take a look at my work.
Persistency, like I said, man, you just keep knocking on doors, you keep reaching out to people. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm a perfect example, and he is a perfect example of what could happen if you keep trying to knock on doors and reaching out.
And I know we also spoke about like hiring quality workers, editors, PAs, cinematographers, you name it, rather than just like a friend or a homie that knows how to hold a camera. Like, tell me a little bit more about that, like the difference of like hiring someone quality rather than having a friend that may or may not work out and could deteriorate the friendship possibly.
Well, the difference between that is you have a friend who's editing for you. They're going to have expectations. They know you, and maybe they don't want to work for 4 hours. Maybe they want to work for just an hour and get the video done. Whereas like another editor, they're going to want to spend all the time in the world to impress you because they're trying to get a position in your company, hats off to some of my friends that I've worked with, and they're so talented, but just having somebody who I'm not personally attached to, I think they have something better to offer than somebody who's a best friend.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I've always been advocate of like not mixing friends and business or even family and business. It's just
business and pleasure, right? You
yeah.
gotta keep the two separate.
Yeah, and I've seen it like mess up people's friendships and relationships based on because of the business.
Right.
Because there's a point where in time, like if you as a boss, you need to like step your foot down, like, yo, no, we need this shit done now. Like, and you can't really say that to someone that you really, really, really love, like a family member or a friend. So I don't know. It's just tricky. Like the business side is just so, I'm like loving it. It's such a roller coaster, but it's like a good fun. Like it's up and down. I don't know how to explain it. I just been truly enjoying it. I never saw myself as a business person, and I'm yapping at this point, but it's like I'm learning every single day how things work, and it's like, man,
you learn something new every day.
Every day.
No, you really do. And it's like, it's funny you say that because I didn't even want to be a business person. I never saw myself as being the kind of person that's going to be running a production company.
Me too.
I always saw myself, oh, you're just going to be an editor, filmer. You're not going to be like running the show. But now it's like I've situated myself into that position now. I have no choice. There's no going back in that. I am the face of Sparkle Films, my company.
Yeah.
So I've just adapted to it. And honestly, I've learned so much about it. And it's made me a lot smarter too. Honestly, like it really opens up your brain and makes you have to think about stuff you weren't thinking about before.
Are you consuming any like business-minded like content out there? Whether it's podcast, books, or films, or...
Well, my true inspiration is films. So I watch a lot of movies. TV shows, not so much. Podcasts, I like listening to those because they're very insightful. I love watching YouTube podcasts and stuff. I think they're just so entertaining, depending on who's doing it, like what they're talking about. But I think just watching different things and listening to different things really can broaden your horizons and make you more open-minded,
Right. Cory, one last question. How'd you get to 90,000 followers, man?
Oh, my God. A lot of dedication. And like you said, man, posting every day. You got to post every day. You got to be consistent with it. And you know what the key is not posting the same kind of thing every day. Something different every day to where you almost surprise your audience. Think of it like your audience is hungry and you have to feed them. I am feeding my audience every day, but I'm giving them different food every day.
I never thought about it like that,
Yep.
but now that you say it that way, it kind of makes sense. You do got to feed your audience, and you saying that is now making me think about my content, and a lot of the stuff that I've been making, I feel like is a little too repetitive. I'm like, all right, I need to change things up.
Yeah, I mean, some people say don't think too much about it, just post. Who cares? Post every day, don't think about it. You have to think somewhat about it. I mean, you have to have a strategy. You have to kind of think to yourself, okay, like, this is what I do. What do people want to see? And then you have to take it from there.
And how do you have like that bandwidth to like come up with new concepts and new ideas?
Oh my God. Well, thank God I have an archive of footage. I mean, the archive is endless. I have footage dating back, whenever, trips, travels. Honestly, I have to write these ideas down. If I don't write them down, I forget.
It's pen and paper.
Pen and paper, I got to either punch it on my phone in my notes or I got to write down on paper because if I don't, I'll just forget. And once it's fresh in your mind, yeah, just remember to do it and make it happen. Sometimes, honestly, I'll do 3 videos in one day. So if it's a Sunday, I have the day off, I don't have anything to do, I'll be like, okay, I'll get 3 reels lined up for this week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, covered.
Nice. Yeah, and like you're posting freaking reels, so it takes a lot more time compared to just posting a still.
I used to post photos all the time. Back when I only had like probably 7,000 or 8,000 followers, and what I was posting? Photos. Drone shots of Laguna, a few travel photos. Once reels came into play, that's when things really started changing. That's when I noticed like my following really started going up.
Jeez.
Yeah. Thank God for reels, man. I mean, they really took my account to the next level.
Jeez, that's so cool.
But I hate cropping. I will say, man, I absolutely hate cropping my footage. Like, I try to shoot stuff vertically now, knowing it's going to be designated for social media.
I'm surprised you never got the DJI Mini, the 3.
Because it shoots vertical video?
Yeah, for the vertical.
I tried it out a few times. Just don't know if I like the quality as much as let's say, the Mavic 3 Pro.
Right.
I hate cropping footage, but I just like the quality so much better.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cropping, but it's like sometimes you got to feed the beast.
I think just turn that grid thing on your monitor so you can see what's right in the center of your frame.
Right.
You know exactly what you're getting by doing that.
And speaking of editing, what editing software are you using?
Adobe Premiere. That's my main source and what I'm editing on. I was on Final Cut Pro for a lot of years, but I switched over to Adobe probably about 5 years ago. And honestly, I love it. It's just, I'm very adequate with After Effects as well. And those two programs are like interconnected. You can literally like be editing in Premiere and then open up After Effects to do like a special effect or transition.
Yeah.
Bring it right back into the
Premiere.
Premiere.
And they communicate well together.
Yeah.
And what's your editing rig look like? Are you using a laptop, PC?
Both. Yeah. I have a laptop and a desktop. I prefer the desktop, of course, because it's faster power RAM. But honestly, my stuff, I'm on the go a lot.
Is it Windows or is it Apple?
Both Apple.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
both Apple computers. But yeah, like I said, I'm on the go all the time. So having a laptop goes hand in hand, man. I mean, all my reels now are done on my laptop, honestly.
Yeah. And when you're on your trip, like, do you like constantly, after your day of vacation, late at night, do you like go on the computer and start working, or do you separate like?
I try to honestly have some downtime.
Right.
Everybody burns out at some point.
Yeah.
Nights are my sanctuary. So yeah, traveling might be a little different. I'm not chilling at night as much when I'm traveling. But back at home, like tonight, after I get done with the shoot today, you know what I'm going to do? Nothing. I'm going to go home. I'm going to take my dog for a walk, and I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to put my phone down, turn it on silent, and enjoy my evening. We are absorbing so much technology all day in this industry. Your phone, your emails, your text messages, your computer, your cameras. When do you get a break? The only time you're going to get a break is probably at nighttime when nobody's contacting you, unless you're on a tight deadline for a project. Take advantage of that time and put your phone down. Just enjoy your time with your dog, your wife, your kids, whoever you're hanging out with. You know?
Yeah, it's something I've realized the last few days I've been doing is by putting my phone on Do Not Disturb around like 5-6 p.m., put it on my charger next to my bed, and then like kind of like watch a show or two with my wife in the living room. So like I'm away from my phone, disconnected from my phone for like they say you're supposed to disconnect for like 2 hours prior to go to bed or whatever. Yeah. And it's something I felt less anxiety. I feel a little bit more relieved and just like more chill because I'm not thinking about notifications or a like or a comment that I got to respond to, you know? And so, and it's something I've realized just you talking about this, I'm like, oh shit, I've been doing that without even knowing it. And I've been liking that feeling so far.
One of my friends said it perfectly recently. She said, you can always take a break from Instagram. It will always be there for you. And I'm like, what? You're right. It will always be there. Why do I feel the need to have to keep posting every day? And I think it's just because I'm become so known for doing that kind of style. So I feel like I have to maintain it. But one of these days, I'm going to take a break. Honestly, I don't know when it is, but I will take
Or just
a break.
find a third party. I don't even know if it's even you're allowed to do that, but just have something. Well, you can schedule things now on Instagram.
It's true.
Yeah,
You
so
can.
I know there's certain features like you can't tag certain things, but like when I was in Europe, I was 8 hours ahead of you guys. So what I would do is just schedule things and then enjoy my day and not look at my phone that much, and then it'll post. So you're still kind of posting daily, but you're not on the phone posting it like that. So I would schedule like 4 reels in like an hour or so.
No, the scheduling feature is amazing. You know, the only downside of that, you're not engaging.
True.
Yeah.
True.
You have to engage with people.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you're just some dead profile just posting and not even responding to people, they're not going to give a crap. They're going to be like, okay, he doesn't have time to respond to me. Forget it.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. Well, Cory, dude, it's been a pleasure having you, man. It's good getting to know you. And guys, if you guys want to connect with Cory, his Instagram will be linked in the description below. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.